and feel safe enough to fall for you. I love the way you make me feel. It's such a simple phrase, and yet it's absolutely electrifying in the right moment. Because here's the truth about men that most women miss. Men want to be impactful. Yes, they want to be desired. Yes, they want chemistry. But what truly makes a man feel connected to a woman, what makes him stay with her long after sex, is the sense that he's moving her emotionally, that he's making her feel something. When you're in an intimate moment and you lean in, look him in the eye, or whisper this phrase, I love the way you make me feel, you're not just giving him a compliment. You're reflecting back his masculine power in the most feminine, inviting way. You're telling him without ego or games that he matters, that his presence affects you, that he's not just touching your body, he's reaching you. And do you know what that does to a man's psyche? It hits him in the core. Because most men, whether they show it or not, carry secret doubts. Am I enough? Am I doing it right? Am I wanted? Or am I just being tolerated? They won't always say it out loud, but they feel it, especially when they care, especially when they're with a woman who has value, a woman who could choose anyone. So when the high value woman he's been drawn to, you who carry standards and strength, look at him and tell him how he makes you feel. It melts his resistance. It builds his confidence. And more than anything, it bonds him to you emotionally. This is the kind of phrase that turns sex into connection. It shifts the dynamic from pleasure to meaning. It allows you to be soft without losing power and allows him to be strong without performance. And it's not about stroking his ego. It's about mirroring presence. It's saying, right here, right now with you, I feel something alive in me. I feel wanted, safe, open, feminine, lit up, and you're part of that. That's the secret. Because when a man hears that he's helped you feel more like yourself, more at home in your body, more free, more loved, that's when he locks in emotionally. That's when you stop being just another hookup and start being the one who sees him, the one who feels deeply, the one he can't stop thinking about when the world quiets down. So say it gently, truthfully from the heart. I love the way you make me feel. And watch how his energy shifts. Watch how his touch becomes more intentional. How his eyes soften. How he stops thinking about himself and starts falling into you. Because when you say this, you're not just giving him pleasure. You're giving him purpose. And that's unforgettable. I feel so safe with you right now. Say this to a man during intimacy and watch what happens. Because this is not just a phrase. It's an invitation into the most powerful masculine instinct he has, the protector. It tells him in a moment of total vulnerability that you trust him, not just with your body, but with your being. That in a world full of pressure, competition, and noise, being in his presence softens you. And that is the very thing that makes a man fall, not just in lust, but into bonded emotional loyalty. You see, most men don't grow up with the language of emotional safety. They're taught to perform, to impress, to pursue. But what men rarely hear, especially in the bedroom, is that they make a woman feel safe. And yet, for many men, hearing this is the most validating, affirming thing they can experience in intimacy. It means they're not just being enjoyed, they're being trusted. And trust for a man who's ready to connect is everything. Now, here's the subtlety. When you say this phrase, it's not about being passive or submissive. It's about being open. It's about allowing yourself to feel grounded, held, seen. When you say, I feel so safe with you right now, what you're actually doing is releasing control. You're stepping out of your masculine energy of independence, of I've got this, and into the beautiful vulnerability of surrender, not to him as a man, but to the moment between you. And in that moment, he doesn't just feel like a lover, he feels like a man with purpose. And that purpose isn't dominance, it's devotion. When you express safety in the middle of intimacy, You're building a bridge between the physical and the emotional. You're letting him know, this is more than touch. I'm here with you. I trust you. And I feel held, not just touched. That experience imprints on a man. It rewires the way he sees you, because you're not just someone he's physically attracted to. You're someone whose walls he's lowered. And that's something men don't forget. Most women try to make a man feel wanted in bed, but the woman who makes him feel trusted, that's the one he falls for. So don't underestimate the power of this phrase. Say it when you feel it. Whisper it during a kiss. Breathe it into his ear after a moment of closeness. Look him in the eye and let your softness meet his strength. Because when a man feels that he is your emotional shelter, not your escape, but your anchor, he'll do everything in his power to keep that trust, to grow it, to protect it, and more often than not, to protect you. That's not just intimacy, that's bonding, and bonding is what turns pleasure into partnership. I've never wanted someone the way I want you. Say it in the right moment and you'll stop his breath, because, well, most women are used to feeling desire. Men, strangely enough, don't always feel truly wanted. They may feel admired, pursued, flirted with, but deep raw desire. A woman looking at him with hungry, unapologetic energy, saying, I want you and I've never wanted anyone like this, that lands differently. This phrase doesn't just feed his ego, it feeds his soul. It affirms something every man secretly longs to feel chosen, not just because he's there, not because he tried, but because something about him, his energy, his presence, his masculine force, ignited something inside you that you can't hide. And here's why it's so powerful. It's truth spoken in vulnerability. It's feminine energy at its most radiant. Not begging, not needy, not manipulative, but open. A woman who's not afraid to let her walls down and own her own desire without shame. That kind of woman is rare and unforgettable. Because when most women flirt or hook up, they focus on being desired, not desiring. They try to attract rather than express. They wait to be chosen instead of declaring what they want. And for a man, especially a man with emotional depth, there's nothing more intoxicating than a woman who can look him in the eye in the most intimate moment and say with full breath, I've never wanted someone like this, not just physically, but all of you. This kind of expression doesn't diminish your power. It elevates it, because it takes real confidence to own how deeply you want someone without needing anything back. It's not a plea. It's not a negotiation, it's a revelation. And that's the kind of moment a man replays long after you leave. It's what makes him compare every woman after you to that version of you. Fully alive, fully honest, fully expressive. And let's be real, most men are used to performance-based desire. Fast, shallow, transactional. What they aren't used to is being wanted wholly. Wanted without manipulation. Desired with depth. That kind of presence from a woman doesn't just stimulate them, it undoes them. It melts the walls they've spent years building. It allows them to feel like themselves, not just their performance. So say it when it's real. Say it when you feel that wild, present truth swelling in your chest and you can't hold it in. Say it in a whisper. Say it in a moan. Say it with trembling lips. Just don't hide it, because when a man feels fully desired, not just touched, but wanted, he doesn't just crave you, he connects to you. He remembers you. And that kind of moment, that's not sex, that's alchemy. I love how you take your time with me. It's one of those phrases that sounds soft, but lands powerfully, because you're not just praising his technique. You're recognizing something so few men ever get acknowledged for: presence. In a world where everything is rushed sex, attention, commitment, this one sentence tells a man, you don't just touch me, you see me, you honor the moment. And when you say it, especially during intimacy, you don't just stroke his ego, you soothe his soul. Because you're saying, I feel your care, I notice your intention. I feel safe to surrender. And most men are taught to focus on performance. They're told that how quickly they make you moan or how intense they are defines their worth in bed. But when a woman stops mid-moment, looks into his eyes and says, I love how you take your time with me, she's giving him permission to slow down. She's telling him that patience is sexy, that presence is powerful, that attention beats intensity. And here's the deeper magic this phrase reinforces: emotional safety. Because it's not just about rhythm, it's about reverence. You're letting him know he's not treating you like a conquest, but like a connection. You're telling him that he's not just getting something from you, he's creating something with you. When a man hears that everything changes, his touch softens, his focus sharpens. He starts listening with his hands. And in that space, you create something that goes beyond chemistry. You build trust. You build something he'll never forget. The experience of being in the presence of a woman who's aware. That kind of woman, she's rare. Most women are too afraid to say something vulnerable like this in the middle of sex. They think it'll ruin the mood, that it's too much, too deep, too emotional. But what they don't realize is that men crave moments of emotional impact. They just don't always know how to ask for them. And when you offer it freely with no agenda, just truth, it melts him. You don't have to perform to be unforgettable. You don't have to be loud to be sexy. What makes a woman unforgettable is her ability to notice what most people miss and speak it in the moment it matters. So say it. Say it when he's tracing your skin with intention. Say it when he slows down to listen to your breath. Say it when you feel held instead of hurried. Look into his eyes and let your voice drip with truth. I love how you take your time with me, because in that moment, you're not just affirming his actions. Powerful. It doesn't demand anything. It doesn't say you owe me more. It simply reveals truth, a vulnerable, feminine truth. It's not about locking him down. It's about opening a window into the way you experience the moment. And when a woman is brave enough to speak that out loud without shame or fear, it hits a man right in the heart, because most men don't expect depth and intimacy. They're used to silence. They're used to disconnection, performance, heat without heart. So when you speak up, when you lean in during a kiss or look into his eyes and whisper, this feels like more than just sex to me. What you're doing is inviting him to go deeper, without pressure, without control. You're showing him that you're not just there for the high. You're there because you feel something. And that moment, that creates emotional imprinting. It builds a thread between your body and his mind. Because now it's not just about what happened. It's about what it meant. Here's the key: say it when you feel it. Not to manipulate, not to steer him into commitment, but because the energy between you really is different, because the eye contact, the pacing, the way he holds you, the way you melt into each other. It's not just about pleasure anymore. It's about presence. And you're not afraid to name that. And that boldness, that honesty, is what makes a woman unforgettable, because she's not afraid to feel. She's not afraid to say what's real. And in a world full of people pretending not to care, that's the sexiest, rarest thing a man can experience. So when the moment feels right, don't hold it in. Let it rise from your chest and fall from your lips. I feel like this is more than just sex. Because if it is, and you say it, that's not just connection. That's chemistry with soul. The kind that turns a physical experience into something he'll crave for the rest of his life. So let's come back to what matters in a world where everything is fast, shallow, and performative. Most people believe that sex is the peak of connection, that if you're good in bed, he'll remember you, that if you move the right way or say the right line or give him what he wants, you win him. But here's the truth no one talks about. It's not how you move your body that makes you unforgettable. It's how you move his heart. And the women who stay on a man's mind for months, for years, sometimes for a lifetime, they're the ones who were brave enough to say the things most women hold back. They didn't fake intensity. They didn't just aim to please. They said with honesty and presence, I love the way you make me feel. I feel so safe with you right now. I've never wanted someone the way I want you. I love how you take your time with me. I feel like this is more than just sex. And those words, those weren't just sounds, they were connection. They turned pleasure into bonding. They made him feel wanted, needed, respected, seen. Because the greatest seduction doesn't come from a position of performance. It comes from presence, from a woman who knows her worth, from a woman who feels safe in her body, safe in her voice, and strong enough to say, I'm not here to impress you. I'm here to connect with you. And when you speak from that place, when you stop editing yourself and start revealing yourself, he doesn't just want you, he remembers you. So here's your call to action next time you find yourself in a deeply intimate moment. Don't be afraid to say the thing. Don't overthink it. Don't wait for the perfect time. Let it flow. Let it land. And watch how a real man responds when you give him the kind of truth that most people are too afraid to share, because that's what makes you powerful, not just the way you touch him, but the way you reach him. If you found this message helpful, let's keep this conversation going. Drop a comment below and tell me which phrase you're going to try next time you're with someone you actually feel a connection with. Hit the like button if you're done with shallow intimacy and ready for real emotional connection. Subscribe for more tools that help you build magnetic, meaningful relationships where you don't just turn him on you, you turn him towards you emotionally, fully, and forever. Because you're not just a woman he wants in the moment. You're the woman he remembers for life.